ang what makes a good SONA mo pa sa ating 2nd District
Yes.
Marikina Representative.
Yan.
At ang ating chairperson ng House Committee on Ways and Means dahil himayin natin ang SONA kasama sa kanya, kasama siya. Si Congressman Miro Kimbo joining us on the line. Good morning, Congressman. Si Peter Atrica po ito sa programang Balita Patan.
Good morning, Rica. Good morning, Kuya Peter. Morning po.
Good morning po, Congressman. So,
Magandang umaga.
Opo, you were there, correct? Nasa...
Yes.
Opo, okay. Ngayon, ano po, kasi wala kami doon, bigyan nyo nga po kami please ng ano yung mood towards the start, the mid, and the end. Overall mood po nung SONA ng Pangulo.
Well, two things, no? Everyone is always excited about the SONA because it's an opportunity for you as legislators to listen what the executive's agenda will be over the given year. And then you're also excited because you want to listen if what it sought to accomplish, nagawa ba niya over the last 12 months. Meron ding anxiety dahil siyempre pinag-uusapan yung maanomal yung mga flood control na marami rin ay potentially affected sa iba't ibang mga kasama. So, it's really a mix of all those feelings. But overall, you always try to anticipate it with some excitement because, kumbaga, parang ito yung checkpoint sa biyahe mo. Bilang isang legislator over the 3 years, you essentially have these 3 checkpoints, which is the SONA.
And sabi nga nung ilang mga analyst, ano po, this should have been, maybe it is, the most consequential SONA in the 6-year term of the President. Kasi nga po, ang hinaharap natin ngayon ay parang sabi nga nila, perfect storm. Ano po, so you have, yung pagtaas ng presyo ng petrolyo, ng mga bilihin, merong impeachment trial, merong katakot-takot pa rin po ang pinoprobe ng ombudsman. And in other words, from an economic standpoint pa lang, ang dami na po natin talagang kailangang lutasin. And yun ang challenge nung SONA ni Pangulong Marcos. Do you think na he was over to rise above all those challenges and all the noise accompanying it?
In my own opinion, I think it was the best SONA he's had. Because of the circumstances which you said. I think the biggest dilemma, I can only imagine the biggest dilemma of the president was how do you actually address the country in such a way that hindi lang puro problema, particularly flood control, ang pag-uusapan. Kasi pag ang pag-usapan mo ay ito lang, hindi mo na mapag-uusapan yung iba't ibang mga aspeto pag kinakailangan ma-address. Sayang yung pagkakataon. But the president is able to directly address the issue on flood control at the onset. Hindi niya binitin, hindi niya nilagay sa dulo. Kasi sa tingin ko, kung hindi niya kaagad pinag-usapan yon, it would have been the elephant in the room. People would have been anticipating. Ano ba sabihin niya? Kahit may maganda sa sinasabi, at the back of everybody's head, they want to hear what he wants to say about flood control. So, tingin ko maganda yung ginawa niyang hakbang na sinabi niya na sa simula, itong ginagawa, ito ng mga nagawa, ito pagagawin. And then he sealed it, he set it aside. And then pinag-usapan niya na ano yung mga problema at ano yung mga programang kailangan gawin over the next 24 months. So ako, in terms of presentation, I don't think you could have found a better way to present it that way. Of course, you're not going to satisfy everybody. Yung, sa tingin ko, maganda, isang paraan yung tutustahin niya at tutulig sa inya yung mga personalities na lumalabas sa mga pangalan. Pero tingin ko he would have only been able to address a small segment na talagang uhaw din para sa katarungan pero hindi niya ma-address yung mga ordinary mga kababayan tulad ng tax reform. Itong pag-taas ng tax exemption ng salaried workers from 250 to 350,000, I absolutely did not expect that. Kasi pinag-uusapan na namin yan, ang akala ko 300,000 lang yan. Pinaglalaban namin gawin yan at least 330,000.
Aha.
But the President even took the extra step. Tax exempt na walang babayaran ang kumikita ng gross income ng 350,000 and below. Napakalaking bagay niyan.
Isa po yun sa mga ikinatuwa din po nating mga middle income earners, no? Marinig natin na
Tama.
tataas yung ceiling dun sa mga may tax exemption. But also we have to look at the other side niyan, Congressman Miro, no? Kung what are we gonna do doon sa possible revenue loss pag sinabi nating mas marami nga po tayong buwis na maaring hindi makolekta na dahil dito sa exemption na ito?
So dalawang exemptions ang ibinibigay, no? Is una, ginagawa ng 350,000 yung gross salary exempted from income tax. Pangalawa is yung 13th month pay from 90,000 today ang exempt, gagawin na yung 120,000 ang magiging tax exempt. So, ang estimated revenue loss dyan ay umabot ang halos 50 billion pesos. So, hindi talaga pwedeng i-take up itong revenue, itong mga tax exemption na magbebenepisyo without the corresponding countervailing revenue measure para kumita naman ng gobyerno. Kaya it's going to be a tax package which we expect will be sent to us by the executive we will take up. At ang compensating measure dyan, Makarika, is saan kukunin? Una, kukunin yan sa sin products na kailangan natin i-overhaul. Ibig sabihin, vaping. Vape is one of the biggest health problems we have today. Ang buwis dyan ay nasa 6 pesos lang per ml. So, kailangan po natin i-adjust yan kasi sobrang baba po niyan despite the harm that it brings sa kalusugan ng kabataan. Pangalawa po is yung adjustment ng ating sugar-sweetened beverages. Yung lahat po ng may asukal, dinadagdagan ng asukal, whether natural, i-adjust po natin ang tax rates din po dyan along with other health-related sin taxes na ating pong impose, including plastics. Yan po ang panggagalingan ng recovery measures ng lost revenue.
Isa po sa pinalakpakan talaga, no? Yung pong pagtanggal ng systems loss, yung panukala na
Sa kuryente.
Sa kuryente,
Oo.
talagang masigabong palakpakan po ang naging tugon ng mga nanonood, ano po. So in other words, it's one of the highlights of the SONA. We had Secretary Garin this morning, and from a very personal opinion standpoint po, parang she feels na baka hindi maging madali na gawin ito because may dapat na legislation na kaakibat o mangyari muna bago mangyari yan, ano. So there is the confidence level is such that masarap pakinggan, masarap isipin, pero mangyayari ba? What do you think, Congressman?
I think two things dyan. First is that the systems loss by itself is not illegal, no? Yung lahat ng kahit anong jurisdiction tingnan mo sa buong mundo, meron talagang systems loss parati kasi natural siya nangyayari. Ang kuryente, pag transmit mo mula sa power plant papunta sa bahay, meron talagang nawawala dyan because of heat. The quality of the wires, the distance, meron at meron talaga. Pinag-uusapan lang dyan is, ano ba yung limit? Ano yung maximum na pwede mong ilipat o i-pass on sa mga consumer? Ayaw natin na yung systems loss dahil sa kapabayaan o inefficiency ng energy company. Ayaw magbabayad. Yun ang ayaw natin. So when Secretary Sharon says that it might be difficult, is that what we don't want to happen, Peter, is alisin na nga yung systems loss doon sa bill, pero in reality, ililipat nila yan as part of their cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Kasi somebody has to pay that. Hindi naman pa pwedeng wala. In other countries, hindi siya binabayaran ng consumer kasi sinasubsidize ng gobyerno yon. Gobyerno nagbabayad dyan. Because if nobody pays for that, wala nang papasok sa pagkukuryente
Yeah, yeah.
because malulugi sila. Because natural yung dissipation, nawawalan ka talaga ng kuryente in the system.
Oh, yan.
So, yung
Opo.
tingin ko ang magiging point of debate kung saan siya ililipat at kung hanggang magkano lang ang pwedeng
Opo.
i-shoulder ng consumer.
But see, this is where the disconnect starts after the SONA. Kasi sa pag-pronounce at pagbigkas ng Pangulo, he was very adamant. Sabi nga niya, inunupan niya, we will request, no, we will demand. Sabi niya, as a matter of fact, hindi lang yung systems loss ang pinatatanggal niya at hindi dapat dalhin, bayaran ng mga consumers, kundi pati yung kaakibat na VAT doon. So in other words,
Tama.
opo, ang sinasabi ng presidente is absolutely dapat mawala na yan sa mga binabayaran, Kong Miro.
Yeah, no, I think wala tayong duda doon sa direksyon ng presidente dyan. Kumbaga para mo sinabing kailangan masugpo natin ang lahat ng akyat bahay, hindi na po pwede yan. Di ba? That's the instruction, that's the direction. People will have to carry it out, particularly in the executive. And on the part of Congress, babalang kasi natin ano yung mga batas sa kinakailangan kasi yun din ang dinidemand ng tao. Ang sinasabi lang natin dito is, it is not as easy as it seems. And the president did not say it's going to be easy. But the president said that this has to happen. So we will make it happen. But like what I'm saying is, it cannot be done overnight. We will have to go through a lot of consultation, but it will have to be done.
Yeah, well, the last 2 years. Sabi nga sa basketball, last 2
Yeah.
Oo.
years.
Last 2 minutes. Tagal sa basketball nun, ha?
Okay. Kung Miro, singit ko na lang, if you were to be asked, ano po ang pinakamataas, yung pinaka-highlight noong SONA ni Pangulo?
Well, ako, obviously, when the president stands up for the country against any form of aggression coming from our neighbors, that's always a major highlight that unifies everybody. Kasi wala nang kulay-kulay dyan, walang politika dyan. Pag sinabing titindig tayo para sa ating teritoryo, para sa ating bayan, para magkaisa, tingin ko yun yung pinaka-ultimate highlight talaga when he made statements against the aggression of China.
Yeah, okay. Kong Miro, maraming salamat po. We really appreciate your time at sa susunod po nating pagniniig sa Himpapawid. Thank you.
Thank you, Kang Miro.
Maraming salamat. Good morning po.
Good
Okay.
morning po. Ang ating 2nd District Representative from Marikina, Chairperson ng ating House Committee on Ways and Means. Ngayon ko lang nalaman, partner, yung Committee pala on Ways and Means deals with the taxes, the revenues, yung mga ganyan sila pala.
Oo, yung Ways and Means
Oo.
sa Tagalog,
Oo.
para-paraan.
Ayun pala!